Let's go. So here's the Tesla stock price prediction chart every single year from 2023 all the way to 2030. The chart and the formulas have been adjusted so we can get more of an accurate stock price prediction here. So let me go ahead and break it down for you quick time. In the beginning, we got the vehicle deliveries, which we'll fill out in just a second. We got the average vehicle sold or average selling price, which I put 45,000 for 2023, 48,000 in 2024 because of the Cybertruck. Don't bet against that. In 2025, I reduced it down to 47 because I am expecting the compact car to slowly make its way in, and Cybertruck will be reducing in cost as well. And obviously, as we go on and further with Tesla, they're going to continue to cut costs so they can reduce their cost of their vehicles as well while maintaining and actually increasing margins at the same time, which is absolutely insane. 2026, 45,000, and 42, 40, 38, and 36 until 2030. The compact car is making a good and strong impact on the average selling price. We got the credits here as well. I am bringing it down slowly because, as we go further into the years and the decade, less and less car companies are going to be making gas cars and more towards electric vehicles. So that's why credits are going to be less for Tesla. Services as well is increasing year over year at around 30%, you could say. And the services as well, about 20-25% as a profit rate. Could be more, but staying conservative here. Then we got leasing here, which it is on a decline. And although I do have to go back and change these numbers here, but lately it's on a decline, which makes sense because, interest rates are higher and people, don't want to make these big purchases at the moment. But I do suspect that from 2025 and onwards, leasing is going to increase again big time, especially when the compact car comes in. Then leasing is going to be a sheesh moment. So, take all this with a conservativeness and, with a grain of salt, but take this one with an extremely great grain of salt. Then the profits here, I left it at 40%, 41% because that's what the average at every single quarter. Vehicle revenue, we got to put that in, which we'll go back and do that. Then we get the vehicle gross profits, 18.5% in 2023. In Q1 of 2023, it was 18.3. We could end the year off by 19% because they did increase prices on all the models. Really, they increased the prices. And it looks like we are coming out of this bear market and people are being more relaxed. But again, interest rates are still high. Financing a car is still high. So getting a loan is still high. So it's not likely we'll see a high gross profit margin for the vehicle side this year. 2024, 20%, then 22.5%, then 25, 26, 27, 28, 29% up until 2030. Then we got the FSD global revenue and profits. We'll do this at the end once we figured everything out. Because at the moment, the average selling price does include the full self-driving in the US at least. So the full self-driving global revenue, profits and revenue. I had to do some calculations here and you'll see how I did it as well. You'll see it makes a big impact on the stock. If global with the snap of a finger, as I talk about on this channel a lot, because Tesla can do that with just one simple software update. It's insane, man. Snap of a finger, they can get anyone around the world with a Tesla that have approval in their country to do FSD, get FSD, which is absolutely insane. So we'll leave this at, best for last. We got the energy here as well. Pretty much I'm saying double for 2024 and 2025. Then about 50% growth year over year up until 2028 and 40% growth up until 2030. After that, we got operating costs and the taxes. Then we got the total revenue, income from operations, and then operating margin, net income gap, stock-based compensation, which every year I give it a 5% increase, non-GAAP net income, and the shares outstanding diluted pretty much. And that's being diluted about 0.2% on an annual basis. As we keep going forward, they're going to be making a lot of money. And so most likely they're going to start doing buybacks maybe in 2026, 2027. I don't know. I didn't add buyback in. I'm just diluting just to be conservative. That's all. Then we're going to calculate the EPS based on the non-GAAP number because that's how they do it. And then we get the PE. Then we get the Tesla stock price. Then the market cap as well. Let's figure out how many vehicles they're going to do yearly. Find the revenue. Find the income. Get a PE. Then do the FSD. See what difference it's going to make. You guys are ready, man. Smash the like button because this is going to get juicy. Alrighty, so in 2024, I'm just going to keep it conservative and, go based on what Tesla said at 1.8 million vehicles deliveries. All right, nothing more, nothing less, even though I think it's going to be a slightly more, But let's just go based on 1.8 million just to stay conservative. And bam, look at all these numbers come in. Take a pause, look at it, digest it a little bit, see what you guys can see, because it's a lot of numbers. But let me go through the vehicle deliveries. So I'm saying 35% growth year over year up until 2028. And 2029 up until 2030 will be 30% growth year over year. Which, if that happens, we're saying just shy of 14 million vehicles deliveries by 2030. Now, most of you guys will go like, Pejjy, man, they gotta be 20 million vehicles by 2030. In my opinion, I think it's going to be delayed by a couple of years. All right. I'm not a Tesla bear. I'm all in on Tesla, man. I'm just, again, looking things at a conservative rate. I think they are going to do 20 million, but not at 2030. I think they're going to be just shy of, 7 million, 6 million. I mean, it's phenomenal. If they could do that much, 13 million or 14, close to 14 million by 2030, that is a record for any car company ever. Even the year before that, 2029, 10.5 million, that's like what Toyota is doing. I don't think they'll do it anymore, but they'll be hitting record. By 2030, Tesla will be making the most vehicles ever. Everybody. It's going to be insane. That's the vehicles. I want to skip down all the way to the total revenue and the total net income non-GAAP. So as you guys can see, we have here over $100 billion in revenue, which again, that's what everyone is saying as well, $100 billion in revenue, which is about 15 to 16% more than last year. Again, this year was a tough year for Tesla because they cut prices pretty aggressively. Even though this was more of an offensive move, they still take a hit in the revenue and profit. As you guys can see, 11.2% operating margin. That's a big hit. Even the vehicle gross margins of 18.5%, they used to be as high as 30%, which I have here back to 2030, 29%, right? So I am staying conservative here as well. But nonetheless, even with all this, they're going to do over $12 billion in net income, even though that's $500 million less from 2022. Phenomenal. In a year like this, it's insane. And then as you guys can see, the year after that, 145 billion in revenue, over 21 billion in net income non-GAAP. 2025, $200 billion. Absolutely flippin' insane, man. Almost $35 billion in non-GAAP net income. Absolutely insane. 2026 surpassing $250 billion in revenue with an operating margin of close to 20%. That will give you almost $53.5 billion in net income non-GAAP. That's just absolutely insane. And this will keep going on. And then let me just give you 2030, over $700 billion of revenue and a net income non-GAAP of over $188 billion. That's over 26% margin, and that's 13.6 million vehicles delivery. That's just insane. But let's go ahead and give this a PE. Let's see what the stock price would be, and then we'll add on the FSD Global because that's going to give it a jump. So if you guys are ready, man, I know I keep saying smash the like button because these videos do take a while to make. And the chart may take a while to make. So yeah, smash that like button if you're ready, man. Let's go. If you go to a bull market, I think a PE of 65 makes sense. Now again, this is an EPS of $3.49. This is less than 2022, but we do think, I do think that if we're really in a bull market, that means the optimism is back. People are looking forward to 2024 and onwards, where this price cut's going to happen, where inflation is pretty much dead, and there's more certainty in the market. So that's why I give it a 65 PE. If all that comes together, we will get a stock price of $227 per share and a market cap of $739 billion end of this year. Some people are saying $250 this year. That would give it a PE of like 71.5, you could say. And some bulls are saying as high as 75 PE, could go to 261. But I'm going to keep it conservative and say 65 on the average and $227 per share end of this year. 2024, I'm going to give it a PE of 60, which would give it a stock price of $364 per share and a market cap almost reaching $1.2 trillion. So yes, that's right. End of 2024, when they do almost 2.5 million vehicle deliveries that year alone, which is amazing. $365 per share, 1.2 trillion. That's pretty much back at what the all-time high was back in 2021. Moving on to 2025, give it a PE of $55 per share and an EPS of $10 by 2025. That's insane. That will give us a stock price of $550 per share and a market cap almost reaching $1.8 trillion. In 2026, a 50 PE with an EPS of 15.28. 50% growth. That's just more than 50% growth. That's absolutely insane. 50 PE will give you a stock price of $764 per share and a market cap of $2.5 trillion. Moving on to 2027, I'm going to give it a PE of 45 with an EPS of 21.25. Absolutely insane. And a market cap of $3.1 trillion. That's absolutely insane. 2028, a PE of 40, and a market cap of $4 trillion. Almost $1,200 per share. That's pretty insane. And I think it was around this year, or I think it was 2027, where ARK is saying $2,000 per share. So we're only halfway there. And again, this is not including Robotaxi or FSD yet. So we're going to add the FSD later, but not the Robotaxi, because I have no idea how to add that in. So moving on to 2029, gave it a PE of 35 and a market cap of over 4.5, almost reaching $4.6 trillion. God. 2030 with a PE of 30 with an EPS of over $53 per share. Absolutely insane. That's $1,600. Market cap over $5.2 trillion. Absolutely insane. But we're not done yet. Let's go ahead and add the FSD. Again, if you guys are ready, you know what? Don't smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button, man. There we go. Change it up a little bit. All right, let's go. Alrighty, for the FSD, I'm saying from 2025 and onwards, that's when FSD global is going to slowly happen, whether you're in Europe, Australia, Dubai, some Asian countries. When you get approval, I think we can see how Tesla FSD can be available there as well. Here is a chart how I did it. I know it looks a little bit confusing. You guys can go ahead and check out the video here how I did it. I did adjust here the chart of the bear case here. This is where I adjusted. As you guys can see, 13.6 million vehicles deliveries by 2030. This is the number that I went based on. So check out this video if you guys want to understand more, but I do want to say that I did do further more adjustments here. Here's a chart how I did 2025 all the way to 2030 with the FSD. For all of them, I said 50% conversion rate. That's it. For 2025, I left it at 40% profit. In 2026, 45%. 2027, 50%. 2028, 55%. 2029, 60%. And 2030, 65%. And anything year after that goes up by 5%, because look, FSD is just a software. It's done, it's ready, you just sell it and you just make the profits, and it's high margins. Elon Musk did say as high as 80%. So I'm just leaving it out there. Let's add these numbers, the respected years, to the respected years here in this chart. Starting off with 2025. So as you guys can see, stock price here is 550 because we haven't done a stock split then. In 2025 with a PE of 50 and a market cap of $1.8 trillion almost. Let's slap it on. Bam! Look at that. Stock price $600 per share and a market cap almost reaching $2 trillion. An EPS from $10 to $10.91. So that's absolutely insane. Moving on to 2026, as you guys can see, $12.28 at the EPS. Stock price $7.64. A market cap of almost $2.5 trillion. Let's go ahead and add it. Bam! Look at that. 1528 turned to 1673. Absolutely flippin' insane. A stock price of $836 per share. So I'm just going to go ahead and add the numbers entirely from 2027 all the way to 2030. Here's the before numbers and here's the after. Look at that. Big difference. 2030, we were at 1600 pre-split. Now we're at 1840 with the FSD added. Absolutely insane.